Signs of life? The Cubs had them on Tuesday for a 12-5 win in Cincy. Let's get to it.
Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Please support the show and be a part of the Locked On Cubs community by following on all audio platforms. And you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. I'll trust that Sam continues to point at the screen. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. All right, switching over tabs here. I can see you now. A lot of emotions on Tuesday's episode, perhaps a little bit of a different tone today.
Yeah, to open with a little bit of comedy, I really didn't realize how difficult these 5:40 Central starts are for me because you know me, I don't eat much during ball games because I'm really locked in, and I dinner is a big thing for me. Usually I eat multiple dinners, and I find myself after these games just very starving because I'm used to like a 7 or 6:40 I've eaten before the ball game. But yeah, no, I tried to stay calm today. I tried to forget about yesterday. Had a pretty good day.
How did that go?
Well, I had a pretty good day, and then
because I see you tweeted 19 times.
Oh, was it 19?
Yeah, I just counted.
Oh, well, did you count? Did you count the threads? I count that all in one.
I counted since the first pitch was thrown, dog.
Yeah, no, I should have tweeted that.
5:52 p.m., 12 minutes after the first pitch. Brutal luck that inning, as usual, all lowercase.
Hey, Swat, that was brutal luck.
18 more tweets after that, bro.
Yeah, I know. I got to slow down.
6:37 p.m. The vibes are very, very bad. The Cubs won this game by 7 2 hours later.
No,
okay.
It's not good. You're right.
Oh, wow. Look at this. I actually missed this in real time. 7:27 p.m. Nico has been awesome leading off innings, and I'm starting to enjoy it. So if that holds, I'll hold my hand up.
Hands going up. Well, what's so funny about this game, Matthew, is you and I had a very spirited talk on the phone before first pitch. And I told you, I said, I know the Cubs very well. This will be a blowout.
No, you know him like no other person on the internet right now. Right, I don't care about any of these other shows. Sam Olber does it the best. I know he's uncomfortable with me saying that. Yeah. I don't care anymore. This is we want to be your voice this season. Go ahead.
So as you say that, I'm about to criticize myself because
I don't know why you do that.
I said on the phone, so Matt, I know the Cubs, this is going to be a blowout win, and I hope it's not going to be a heartbreaker tomorrow. Right. And it ended up being that blowout win, but it really wasn't. They were down 3-1. They were down 3-2 in the seventh.
3-2 going to the seventh.
Yeah, this was actually a comeback win. I mean, let's just dive into it.
It was. 7:48 p.m. Happy for Mastro.
Yeah, well, because he had some really tough luck. He deserves some love. So Wisniewski was not sharp at all to start the ball game. It just one of those things where I actually leave feeling pretty good about it, only because, first of all, he hit 98 miles an hour. I did not know he had that. Probably a little overamped, even though that's a cliche. He just didn't have command. He had no command of any of his pitches. His cutter was off. His best pitch is that sweeping slider. I think he threw maybe one good one all night. So he was just kind of trying to survive, and he did. And a little bit of credit to Ross for learning his lesson after in that fifth inning. He got him out early, went straight to Rucker and Adbert, and those guys did a nice job overall. And then, the story is the bats, Matt. Mm-hmm. I don't want to overreact because They are playing in Cincinnati, which is a bandbox, and they played against 2 4A pitchers to start the ball game yesterday and today. But, you up and down the lineup, the at-bats are good. I mean, I don't want to steal too much of your thunder. The one takeaway I have is that I'll highlight 2 guys briefly that just look very comfortable, and that's Bellinger. And I said after the weekend, I thought his offer was not very, but it wasn't one of those offers where he looked clueless. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I said I felt like he'd have a pretty good week here, and he's had a pretty good week so far here, and he's still missing pitches. A lot of pitches, especially middle of the zone.
The top of the 5th at bat was rough.
Right, but the thing that he's doing is he's swinging at good pitches.
Mm-hmm.
He's swinging and taking at the right pitches, and then Wisdom has just really continued his spring. And credit to him for being even in the lineup after that wrist shot yesterday. Yeah. He was excellent, and it was just an up and down, really good offensive performance late in the game. Good at bats. That's pretty much what it was.
A 6-run 7th to propel the Northsiders to victory. 4 players had 3-hit games: Horner, Happ, Bellinger, and Wisdom. Hosmer added 2 hits as well. Happ got things going in the 7th with the run scoring. First 7 batters reached base that frame. Happ got it going with a double to the opposite way to score Horner, who led off everything with a double. And it was good because 7 straight, to reach base there. I at that point, based on how the game was going,
bad vibes.
It was a sense of relief for me.
Yeah.
The vibes weren't good. They were making a lot of outs in a variety of ways, really. Yeah. First inning, a lot of hard contact, and then it petered off after that,
right,
where they were mishitting even. But they looked like they were going to be on the wrong side of the board again, and it turned out to be a blowout. 7 runs in baseball is a blowout, 7+. And I hope that this can transition into something. Unfortunately, because of what happened Monday evening, I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Cubs should be 3-2. They're 2-3. I hope that this could be used for good. I don't know. That's part of the experience. Everybody together now. Myself, Sam, and you, to take all this in every day. It's a daily show, a daily experience, a daily sport. So we'll wait and see. Alzolay pitched today, Sam.
Yeah.
2 2/3.
Yeah. Can I say real quick?
The bullpen was a bit cleaner.
Yeah. Real quick though, I don't love Alzolay as a 3-inning guy. I've said that on the show multiple times.
So they're going to have 3 multi-inning guys?
Yeah, I just don't think that's his best use. I think he's got the best stuff in the entire bullpen at 1 inning at a time. I'm fine with 2, but it doesn't have to be a multi-inning thing every time with him. I don't think that's where he's best. Going into today at a career ERA of 2.12 in two innings or less out of the bullpen.
Wow.
So I don't like, and it's not a coincidence that 3rd inning he got beat up a little bit, but I was glad that Boxberger got some work in.
Faced one guy.
Yeah, because I want him to be sharp because his next outing is probably going to be high leverage. Hopefully tomorrow.
Hopefully Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was very smart to get Merriweather a low leverage situation. He looked good. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, I think it's just good for the mental part of the sport, really.
No, absolutely. You put a 0
so you
up
have
there,
Boxberger, Fulmer, Leiter, several guys available.
Assad
on Wednesday. Assad. Okay, so you have multiple options following Stroman. Actually, we could maybe draft up a pitching path to victory potentially here.
Yeah,
it's going to be Stroman versus Green. How big is Wednesday's contest in your mind?
It's one of those where I am of the belief, and other Cubs fans are, and some aren't, that April is just very important because to me, it's like 50% of what the playoffs are in the sense of like, if you have a great April, you don't win anything, so it's not like the playoffs. But if this team has a bad April, their season they'll be eliminated. Like if they were to have a 10-18 April, I don't see them overcoming that. This isn't the type of team that I think that could just withstand and go 25 out of 30 when they need to get back in it. So every game's important. I think tomorrow is a very important psychological game because you end up having all Wednesday night off. You end up having all Thursday off. You travel home. You have a home series against Texas. And I think you don't want to lose back-to-back series, divisional series, and lose a series at Cincinnati. So it's important. I think all rubber games are very important throughout the year.
Yeah.
And this one's no exception. And it's early in the year. And the difference between 3-3 and 2-4, is a big psychological feel. So I would say to answer how big.
Yeah, I think the difference just purely win-loss record is substantial.
And it'll be hard, by the way.
I'm going to say Stroman for 6, Assad for 1, Boxberger for 1, Fulmer for 1.
Fully agree.
In that order.
Yeah.
And Hunter Green, high velo guy, top prospect in the sport. Reds view him very highly. He only pitched 4 innings opening day. So perhaps you can get to that bullpen early, keep it close early, and then try to maybe early lead, extend the lead against that awful Reds pen.
Yeah, that's the key. That's it. There's nothing even else to say about tomorrow's game. You just
early lead, right?
Well, and not only early lead, but just getting him out. Getting him out. Even if you get him out and it's 1-0, 2-1, and he's out by the 5th, you feel really good. And high velo is an understatement. The highest velo. He hit 105 in his first start.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He hit 105 MPH in his first start.
Wild. It's wild. Wow. All right, so we've broken down the lineup in a variety of ways. We get an update on a player that could provide a giant boost to the lineup, maybe even in about 10 days. We do that coming up next.
Yes, sir.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and the NBA playoffs are inching closer. Chicago Bulls playing for one of those play-in spots, or perhaps greater than that. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 as the playoffs near. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. You can bet on everything from the money line to point scores and threes drained. And there's even exclusive bets on there, like the 2x3, 2 3-pointers scored in the first 3 minutes. Maybe we could nab Zach LaVine for one of those. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of this very show, Locked On Cubs. Welcome back to Locked On Cubs. Thanks so much for making us your first listen every day. And shout out to all the audio peeps. We're in your ears, Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Seiya Suzuki has now played in 2 games in extended spring training at Sloan Park in Mesa, AZ. He played right field for 5 innings on Monday and was the DH on Tuesday. David Ross revealed before Tuesday's game that Seiya will report to a, quote, warm weather area, close quote. And so if we could read in between the lines there and guess that he will be donning a Tennessee Smokies or Myrtle Beach Pelicans uniform for his rehab assignment, which should be pretty soon. Which is awesome. It's fantastic news. Would love to see him in this lineup on April 14th.
Is your target date Dodger Stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Me too.
And here's a teaser. If you're still with us 14 minutes in, Mervis should be promoted that day. Have both of those dudes enter the lineup at the same time, dog. Well, we haven't done that in a while.
I have no thoughts.
Okay. Brandon Hughes threw a live bullpen session Monday, and Kyle Hendricks threw a bullpen off to the side at Sloan on Monday, and he will be progressing to live BP soon as well. So all good things with 3 established pro players that hope to return to the roster soon. And I think we will be feeling better when there's more proven people actually in the mix.
Do you think that Smiley and Wisniewski are battling out for who gets to keep their spot when Kyle Hendricks comes back, or is that unfair to say?
I would say ultimately, I don't know right now. My instinct would be to say yes. And my follow-up to that would be Smiley should be very nervous about that. I mean, I don't know what role he would have.
He got a fairly significant deal.
$9 million a year. $8 million a year. Or no, 9.
Oh, geez. What was it? 2 years, 19? Figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be over 9. 9.5. God, I know English is your specialty, but Lord, you're making fun of me about tweeting. Figure out the basic arithmetic.
Well, let's move on then.
Right.
Too much math here.
Yeah, no. Go Cubs, huh?
And is Drew Smiley really making 9 M's? Damn.
Yeah,
Teach your kids to throw left-handed, folks.
No, yeah, and soft.
Coming up next, first time we become Locked On Iowa Cubs. We get into our first report out of Des Moines. Coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by Ultimate Baseball GM. Ultimate Pro Baseball GM is the coolest game we've played in a long time. We've always thought we could be a great Major League GM. As it turns out, it's not all that easy. If you've had the same thought, you should download Ultimate Pro Baseball GM immediately. You can hire the right coaches and staff, scout and draft players, navigate your franchise through free agency and all the ups and downs of a season. Locked On Cubs listeners get a 100% free boost to their franchise when using the promo Locked On in the game store. So make sure to check it out. To download the game, just visit probaseballgm.com, scan the code, or look it up in the Apple or Google Play stores. That's probaseballgm.com to start your dynasty today with Ultimate Pro Baseball GM. Welcome back to Locked On Cubs. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We close out today's program with some Locked On iCubs action as we make our first transition here down on the farm as the Iowa Cubs started play on Friday, and they are 3-0.
Yeah.
Undefeated to start the season, which is awesome. And quite frankly, there's no shortage of highlights to go through here. Many players got off to a good start out there in Des Moines. It was a cold weekend out there, and a lot of slow pitch softball scores, which is pros and cons. Well,
one of those slow pitch softball scores was because Caleb Killian really struggled.
Yeah, well, that was concerning to me.
Absolutely.
Adrian Sampson was a little bit underwhelming as well.
Well, that's not surprising.
And
this spring,
we're going to keep an eye on how that goes. So, Bodie, Mervis, Morel, and Velasquez all homered last weekend.
That's a loaded AAA lineup.
Mervis is 3 for 10. Velasquez hitting over 400. Morel has a couple extra base hits, and he's played in he started in 3 different spots in all 3 contests. Brendan Davis is 0 for so far.
No.
But still early, as they say. And Rowan Wick had a nice weekend in Des Moines at Principal Park.
That's interesting.
Striking out 5 in multi-innings as well.
Yeah, Wick will be up here, I'm sure, at some point. So that's interesting.
Right.
Good Mervis. I think almost everybody you named will be up here at some point. I mean, maybe Velasquez, maybe Morel for sure. Mervis, we'll talk about that on an off day or something.
Right.
If and when he comes up, who does he replace? Right now, Rios isn't getting much time. Was very surprised.
Is Rios in the clubhouse?
Was very surprised he didn't get a start against Seiya, who's kind of a soft tossing righty. It'll be interesting if he's in there tomorrow against Hunter Green. That'll be tough.
Oh, I hope not.
Hunter Green, Hunter Green kind of screams out Mastroboni, Madrigal type stuff, right?
Yeah. You're looking to scratch a run or two.
But yeah, it's good. Good AAA updates. Mervis had a kind of a rough spring, rough WBC. So
yeah, a little bit.
Good to see him off to a good start. Like I said, he'll be here. But listen, sometimes you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, he hits the ball on the ground every single time, but Hosmer has gotten big hits for this team.
Through 5 ball games.
I mean, the process feels unsustainable because every ball is on the ground.
Right.
But, if he goes the other way, he makes contact, hits are hits. And he is taking advantage of that little lack of shift between first and second base. And by the way, just something real quick on the shift.
Yes.
It's so confusing. Mastroboni hits a rocket up the middle today. I start clapping my hands for a base hit. You know what I'm talking about?
There was a fielder there.
Yeah, there's a fielder right behind second base.
I'm very suspect of that.
I don't know what the rules are, and frankly, I don't care. Because listen, Lord knows if there's a rule, Boog will explain it, and then over as he panned today in the middle of the ball game to Willie Harris's Jordan shoe low tops. That was cool to see.
7:52 p.m. at Sam Olber. Not even a tad surprised at Adbert.
Yeah, that he was pitching well. That he was pitching well because he was my pick as we had before the season. I kind of had one fun one with MLJ and then Alzolay and Rios. And so far it's looking like Alzolay might be Efros and Rios could be Hermosillo from last year. Hey, listen, if you hit 500 on those, you're feeling good. But
8:01 p.m. Please don't do the classic 1-run L 13-run win, 1-run thing L tomorrow LOL.
Yeah, probably a typo.
Once again, all lowercase.
Yeah, probably a typo.
Abbreviated tomorrow, TMRW.
Yeah, I'm probably a typo in there. But yeah, that's my pet peeve. Like last year, 3 out of 4 against Pittsburgh, 1-run L, 21-1 win, run 1 L. It's a tongue twister. 1 run, and then everyone goes, "Hey, don't worry, the Cubs' run differential is +18. Who cares? They went 1-3."
Correct.
So tomorrow, win a tight one. Win a tight one, folks. Yeah. Win a tight one. Get to 3-3. Come back to Wrigley versus Texas. No DeGrom. Steal on the bump. Rebound start for Tyone. Rebound start for Smiley. Then you play Seattle. Then you play the Dodgers. Then you go to Oakland. Then you play the Dodgers again. And then you play the Padres. I got everything memorized.
My goodness. That's why you need to stick around with us every single day. Or
why you shouldn't, if you're weirded out by how big of an LOSER I am.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button.
I don't know what that word means
for
in Spanish.
Locked On Cubs on YouTube, and smash the like button and all your favorite Locked On Cubs content.
Laugh.
This is some people's favorite part. We're also on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and you can drop us a text, 312-834-4634. Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. Now make your second listen, Locked On Fantasy Baseball. Listen to Matt and Dom as they bring you the best fantasy strategies all season over at Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
I don't care about the Bulls.
He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.